Yeah. So good morning, everybody. I think for many people, still the morning has not started and the night has not ended. Okay, no issue. As we are discussing or we are taking the politics classes i- in our regular sessions, I thought it would be fair to discuss this issue where many observations were made by the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, with regard to expulsion of 12 members of Bharatiya Janata Party by the ruling, Shiv Sena party. Of course, not single party. It is a coalition. Okay. Yes. See, actually, we are having a concept called as expulsion of MLAs. Suppose, see, when the session is going on, if any MLA abrupts the smooth functioning of that session, generally you see the opposition party MLAs will raise slogans just to interrupt the house. Just to interrupt the house. So maybe 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, was replying to the haragiri made by two BJP MLAs in the Delhi Legislative Assembly, and he has also, narrated a story. So simply, their aim is not to get solve their demands, just to disrupt the house and to show the people who are outside that yes, our MLAs are fighting, and their demands are not even genuine. See, they are talking about. Of course, I am not inclined to any party. Just I am saying how the system is. The two MLAs were demanding, waiving of taxes on the cinema halls, which are, just involving in playing that Kashmir files. See, why you have to demand if you want to show the people of India free of cost? You put it that in the YouTube. It was, told by Arvind Kejriwal. So that is how the things will go. Just opposition party, either BJP or Congress. See, now take the example of Telangana. In Telangana, TRS has purchased the Congress MLAs. Now here BJP will criticize the TRS saying that you are involving the horse trading. But what happened in Karnataka and Maharashtra? The BJP has purchased the MLAs. Of course, whatever may be the case, they were subject to resignation. So just the members wanted to see that the house will not run in a proper manner. So to see that, to make the house to run in a proper manner, these MLAs were expelled for a period of 1 year. So actually, generally what happens, the MLAs will be expelled for that session. Now take the example of Telangana. The three BJP MLAs were expelled until this session, that is budget session. Maybe 10 days or 12 days or 14 days, etc. Or sometimes what happened, only on that day, the MLA will not be allowed to participate in the session, MLA or MLS. Rarely, the MLAs are expelled for a period of 1 year. So, of course, that MLAs went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court made a lot of observations. That is the greatness of Supreme Court. What Supreme Court said that, see, if any member abstains from the session for a period of 60 days, what happens? His seat will be vacated. And the second thing, People's Representative Act of 1951 says that the MLA seat should not be vacant for more than 6 months. See, suppose if you are, expelling the MLA for 1 year, automatically he will not get an opportunity to represent the, grievance of his constituency members in the assembly. Okay, it is also very important. Two observations were made by the Honorable Supreme Court. And again, third thing, see, the rules and regulations for smooth functioning of these legislative assemblies are made by the state legislature. It is not uniform, throughout the country. So every state legislature is having their own, business, procedure, and even also, rules and regulations of the house. So, the Supreme Court said that, according to Maharashtra Legislative Act, only the presiding officer can expel without any passage of resolution. But what happened in the, Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, a resolution was passed to expel them. So 3 observations were made by the Supreme Court. And even it is not a healthy convention. Expelling them, members for 1 year, it is not all a healthy convention. Maybe for 1 day or 2 days, it is well and good. So even the government of India should make a constitutional amendment. Putting a ceiling limit for expulsion of members like 2 days or only 1 day or 3rd day. So it is not the way to run the democratic institution, especially as India is having the democratic process. Okay. So at a rapid rate, I will try to study this because I already explained the important thing. Why Maharashtra BJP MLAs 1 year suspension was illegal and irrational? See, irrational. It is also very important. See, illegal or legal, it is in relation to a law, but irrational, it is with the morals and ethics. Okay, even court will consider everything. Legality of that act and also rational or irrational. The Supreme Court has set aside the 1 year suspension of 12 BJP MLAs from the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. What was the plea before the court and what did the two sides argue? What happens now? The Supreme Court on Friday, in the month of January, maybe on the last day of January, if I am not wrong, set aside the 1 year suspension of 12 BJP MLAs from the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly while observing that the decision to suspend them for a 1 year was unconstitutional, substantively illegal and irrational. 3 words: unconstitutional, illegal, and irrational. So such kind of words we have to use in your mains. Mains practice will not come all the way from the sky. From your hard work only, you will clear the mains. Okay. Yeah. In its 90-page order, the court said that the 12 MLAs are entitled to all consequential benefits of being members of the assembly on and after the session in July 2021 ended. What was the plea before the Supreme Court? Only July 5, 2021, soon after the assembly met for its 2-day monsoon session. And you know, the time gap between the 2 sessions should not be more than 6 months. And you are not allowing the MLA to come to the house. And even I told you, if the seat is vacant for 6 months, automatically you have to conduct the election. All such kind of issues are there. There was commotion as leader of opposition Devendra Fadnavis objected to an attempt by State Minister Chhagan Bhujbal to table a resolution demanding that the center release data on the other backward classes. Means, not only Marathas, all other backward class, percentage should be released. And accordingly, they were demanding the reservation for these OBCs in the local self-governing bodies. Of course, they can demand. Okay? Yes. So the seats could be reserved for them in local bodies in Maharashtra. Several BJP MLAs entered the well in the protest, snatched the mace and approached mics. Shivsena MLA Bhaskar Jadhav, who was in the chair, actually he is not the presiding officer. He was one among the panel member. We have discussed when the speaker and this deputy speaker are absent, one of the panel member can preside the house. We have discussed everything in our regular sessions. Okay. Who was in the chair adjourned the house for 10 minutes, following which some BJP MLAs allegedly entered his chamber and threatened, abused and misbehaved with him. Now it is common in the modern politics. The person who abuses more is considered as a great MLA or MP. That is common. Now, the Maharashtra House has not had a speaker since Nana Patole of the Congress resigned in February 2021. And Jadhav was one of 4 presiding officers named by acting speaker Narhari Jirwal the previous day. The data on the population of OBCs is a political hot button. And the center has told the Supreme Court that data on OBCs collected during the socio-economic caste census of 2011 is erroneous and unusable. So the center said that it is not correct. So you cannot take into account that data. It is having a lot of mistakes. That is common. If you see your Aadhaar card, if you see your PAN card, even if you give the correct numbers, they will have a lot of mistakes, either in the name or in the date of birth, or at least in your photo. Okay. So it is common thing. So it said that that data you cannot use. Maharashtra Parliamentary Affairs Minister. So this point you have to remember. These Parliamentary Affairs Ministers will pass a resolution. So actually, according to Maharashtra Legislative Act, there is no need of this resolution. Only Speaker can expel the person. So the court has observed 3 mistakes: 60 days, 6 months, and this mistake. Of course, this concept may not directly come in the prelims, but as far as mains is concerned, you can use this concept. Okay? Yes. Anil Parab subsequently moved a resolution to suspend 12 BJP MLAs. Of course, no need of this stats, Andy. The MLAs filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court last year against the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly and the state of Maharashtra and asked for the suspension to be quashed. See, whether these MLAs are having the opportunity to knock the door of High Court or not. Whether these MLAs are having the opportunity to knock the High Court or not. Live students comment. Yes, they are having the right, but they have directly approached the Supreme Court. And luckily, Supreme Court has taken the matter. Sometimes Supreme Court says that no, first you go to High Court and later you come to the Supreme Court. Okay? Yes. Okay. What had both sides argued? On behalf of the 12 BJP MLAs, it was submitted that their suspension is grossly arbitrary and disproportionate. Yes, 1 year is arbitrary. And even whenever we were doing mistake in our school days, and our school teacher used to ask us to stand in front of the class. And we felt lucky because we were not interested to listen that class also, especially that biological science class. I was always trying to stand outside for 1 day or 2 days, not throughout the year. Okay? Yes. Their suspension is grossly arbitrary and disproportionate. The challenge relied mainly on grounds of denial of the principle of national justice. All the courts in India will consider this matter, principle of national justice. All the remaining things are secondary. This is primary. Principle of national justice. That is primary. That is primary for any court, any tribunal in India. Even that should be same for the International Court of Justice also. I don't know why they are helpless in the case of, Ukraine. Many people are suffering, including the Russians are also suffering. And nowadays you can see the problem started for India because of refugees from the Sri Lanka. And how many refugees we will accommodate, only God knows. We are having our own problems. Okay? Okay. Now, and of violation of laid down procedure. Violation of laid down procedure. What is the procedure? That only presiding officer is having the right to expel. There is no need of passing of any resolution as it was done in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. They said that they were not given an opportunity to present their case and that the suspension violated their fundamental right. Generally, after expelling, they will be served a notice and they will appear in front of the presiding officer and they will forward their issue. And that opportunity was not given to see. Now, today, everything is politics. Everything, assembly, even Gram Panchayat, any representative institution in India is totally politics. The system has become in that manner. Okay? Yes. To equality before the law under Article 14 of the Constitution. They also submitted that they were not given access to video of the proceedings of the House, and it was not clear how they had been identified in the large cloud that had gathered in the chamber. I was not present because you have not showed us the video. So they have abruptly, they have expelled the 12 MLAs, and they were demanding that I was not in the chamber. Without seeing that video, how you will expel me? Okay. The MLAs have also contended that under Rule 53, of course, no need to remember because it is an act of Maharashtra, but still in mains, when you require analysis, if you put the facts and the essay will become more excellent. Rule 53 of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly rules, the power to suspend can only be exercised by the speaker and it cannot put to vote in a resolution as was done in this case. It was a mistake. There is no need of any resolution. The court will consider everything. Rule 53, see See why we are talking about the Maharashtra Act, because every state legislature can make laws for the smooth functioning of its business. There is no uniform law as far as legislative assemblies are concerned. That you have to remember. The assembly can make laws of its own for smooth functioning of its business. That is very important. There is no need of, there is no uniform law for all state legislative assemblies in the country. So we are talking about the Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly Act. Rule 53 states that the speaker may direct to any member who refuses to obey his decision or whose conduct is, in his opinion, grossly disorderly to withdraw immediately from the assembly. The member must absent himself during the remainder of that day's meeting. Suppose in the morning, the honorable speaker has expelled that person. So until evening, he should not attend the sessions. If he will come, the marshals will carry that person and he will be thrown outside the house. And you can see the marshals carrying the MLAs in the newspapers and also electronic media. Okay, even there will be lady marshals to lift this lady MLAs. Okay, okay. The Maharashtra Legislative Assembly and the state who were named as respondent. Okay, now what is the meaning of respondent? The person who will go to the court in the first instance is called as plainant, and the other person is respondent. Now, the Supreme Court has given notices to this, Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. In the case had submitted, the action was taken due to undisciplined and unbecoming behavior of the MLAs. Undisciplined and unbecoming behavior of the MLAs. It is not uncommon. In all states, the MLAs will, run into the speaker's podium. It is not new. And expulsion is also not new, but the expulsion of 1 year is new. Earlier, it was done in the case of Honorable MLA of the AP, Madam Rosa. Of course, he also went to High Court and also Supreme Court, and God squashed the order of the presiding officer. Okay, yes, it was argued that the House had acted within its legislative competence, and that under Article 212. Courts do not have jurisdiction to inquire into the proceedings of the legislature. Yeah, what they are saying? Under Article 212, courts do not have jurisdiction to inquire into the proceedings of the legislature. Yes, but if the presiding officer is acting with a malified intention, which is irrational, which is undemocratic, yes, courts will intervene. There is no question of any blanket immunity on the powers of Indian judiciary. You cannot stop judicial review. Okay, yes. Article 212, now you can remember this article. Article 212, clause 1 states that the validity of any proceedings in the legislature of a state shall not be called in question on the ground of any alleged irregularity of procedure. No. Though article is there, if speaker acts with a malified intention, you can go to the court. Because Supreme Court is the guardian of the constitution. Because nowadays politics are selfish, self-centric, with ill motive. Yeah, the state had also said that a seat does not automatically become vacant if the member does not attend the house for 60 days, but it becomes vacant only if so declared by the house. But still, it is not a good convention. Expelling for 1 year. It was submitted that the house is not obliged to declare such a seat vacant. So as far as respondent is concerned, he was arguing on this basis. Yeah, his seat will not get vacated because we are not going to declare him as he has vacated his seat, because it is not considered as absent because they were expelled. It was the contention of the Maharashtra state legislature. What did the court say about members being suspended beyond an ongoing session? Beyond an ongoing session, see, very hardly the members can be suspended until that session. Like Telangana speaker has suspended the 3 BJP MLAs until the budget session, not for 1 year or 6 months. The court agreed with the MLA's contention that the suspension has to follow the procedure laid down in Rule 53. There is no need of any resolution. Only Honorable Speaker can expel them. But what happened in this Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly? They have passed a resolution which is against the section Rule 53 of the Act of the Maharashtra Assembly. It said that the suspension of a member must be preferred as a short term or a temporary disciplinary, short term, 1 day, 2 day for that session, temporary disciplinary measure for restoring order in the assembly. Anything in excess of that would be irrational suspension. The court said, it said that Rule 53 only provides for the withdrawal of a member from the remainder of the day or in case of repeat misconduct in the same session for the remainder of the session, very hardly for the remainder of the day. And even if he is not behaving in a proper manner on the second day also, you can suspend him for the until the end of that session, not beyond that session. It may be true. Okay? Yes. The court said that as per this rule, withdrawal of a member can only be done in case of the member's conduct being grossly disorderly. It relied on definition of the two words and said that the conduct has to be considered in a graded objective manner. It is not a punishment like expulsion, but more a direction to ensure that the business of the house can be carried on smoothly without any disruption. It termed the 1 year suspension worse than expulsion or disqualification. Yes, disqualification also. Because if a member is disqualified, within 6 months, elections has to be conducted, and the person, the same person can contest the election. Only on rare cases, he is not allowed to contest. Only on rare cases. Okay? With regard to defection, he can contest. Okay? Expulsion or disqualification or resignation as far as the rights of the constituency to be represented in the house are concerned. It also said that suspension beyond the ongoing session is violative of basic democratic values, as it would mean the constituency, that MLA constituency, the member represents in the house would remain unrepresented. Who will raise the problems of his constituency as that MLA is expelled from the house? Because every constituency will have their own set of problems. Yeah, it said that it will also impact the democratic setup. It said that the thin majority coalition government could use such suspension to manipulate the member of opposition party members, and that opposition will not be able to be. Yes, sometimes what happens if the members are expelled? Then, if no confidence motion is initiated, then it will have a lot of problems. Suppose if the ruling party, say, if it is having support of 100 MLAs, in course of time, the court has declared 3 MLAs has disqualified on various grounds. Now, they shall, their majority has reduced by 3 members. So, to attain the magic number, they need 3 members. Now, what they will do? Instead, now they cannot get the 3 MLAs. What they will do? They will expel 10 members from the opposition party. So, now the 10 members of opposition party cannot participate in the no confidence motion. Automatically, though they are having 3 members less, the ruling party will, win over the, no confidence motion. So, that kind of things may happen. It is an excellent observation made by the Supreme Court. So, this may be misused when the ruling party MLAs were disqualified on some or other pretext, when they lost the majority confidence of the House. To decrease the magic number, if 10 MLAs are expelled, automatically magic number will decline by 5 numbers, because 10 by 2, 5 members. So automatically only 3 members are expelled. Still they are having the magic figure. They may do that kind of things in future. Very nice observation made by the Honorable Supreme Court. Yes, opposition party members and that opposition will not be able to effectively participate in discussion debates in the House, fearing suspension of its members for a longer period. So if such kind of things go, then opposition MLAs will get frightened to ask any questions. So we will be disqualified for 1 year. You may get that kind of fear. It also concerns whether the legislature had complete immunity from judicial review in matters of irregularity of procedure. It ruled that procedures are open to judicial review on the touchstone of being unconstitutional, grossly illegal, irrational, or arbitrary. You cannot say that all our proceedings are immune from the judicial review. No. If your act is with malified intention, that can be questioned in the court of justice. Okay? Yes. Can members be suspended beyond the remainder of the session? The bench referred to Article 190, Clause 4 of the Constitution, which says, if for a period of 60 days, a member of a house of the legislature of a state is without permission of the house absent from all the meetings thereof, the house may declare his seat vacant. But the Maharashtra State Legislature said that we are not going to declare that seat as vacant. Under Section 151, Clause A of the Representation of the People's Act 1951, a by-election for filling any vacancy should be done within 6 months. So here you have crossed the 6 months also. Shall be held within a period of 6 months from the date of occurrence of the vacancy. This means that barring exceptions specified under this section, no constituency can remain without a constituency means MLA constituency. Like we are having Chevalla, Sherlingampalli, etc. Can remain without a representative for more than 6 months. It said that anything in excess of that would be irrational. Suspension entailing deprivation of the constituency from being represented in the house. Now, who will represent the constituency people if they are having any problems? If there is drought, if there is flood, anything like attack of locusts, etc., like COVID-19 issues or any breakout of any epidemic, etc. The court said that exceeding the stated timeline as per the rules for withdrawal of members is a substantive matter. It said that it raises the question as to what purpose does it serve to withdraw a member from the house for a successive sessions, not one session. 1 year means 2 sessions, because within 6 months they have to have a 1 session. Yes, warranting is removal from the assembly for a longer period. The house can invoke its inherent power of expulsion, like Rule 53 in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. Are there similar rules for Parliament and other state assemblies? Of course, this is not our matter, Andy. Okay, so this is how the Supreme Court has observed the matter, and the observations made by the Supreme Court are excellent as far as our mains are concerned. And even don't think that the courts are not having any power to interfere in the proceedings of the state legislature. Okay, no act in India is immune from the judicial review. Anything can be open for the judicial review. Yeah, of course, Tulu language. So it is spoken in some parts of Kerala and also adjoining boundaries of Kerala, that is in Karnataka. It was in news earlier, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, but generally in the UPSC prelims, they may ask such kind of questions. They will ask all the current affairs of generally back 1 year. Maybe, you are having exam in the month of June up to March and back 1 year, they may ask. Of course, it is up to them. You are not having any odd and fast rule for their time limit or for their boundaries, etc. Okay, yes, okay. So they were demanding the official status for this Tulu. So if they get the official status, what happens? There all the aspirants like government jobs, like civil services, even they can write the exam in that language also. Now take the example of Telugu. In UPSC, you are having, you can write Telugu as far as mains is concerned. The problem is with the prelims. So prelims, you will have only 2 languages, one side Hindi, one side English. But mains, you can write in any language which is recognized by the constitution. Okay? So very, the Tulu, speakers mainly in Karnataka and Kerala have been requesting the governments to give it official language status and include it in the 8th schedule to the constitution. And now in the 8th schedule, you are having the 22 languages, 22. And you have to remember, English is not recognized by the constitution, though it is a official language for parliament and for other states also. In 2020, there was a demand to include Tulu in the new national education policy when the national education policy was given by Modi. It is a 3-language system: English, Hindi, and also regional language. So they wanted to have Tulu as the medium of instruction, at least for lower classes, or at least one subject. In the 3-language system, you will have the 3 subjects, 3 subjects: English and also the regional language and also Hindi. Okay? Yes. Official language or languages of a state. Part 17 of the Indian Constitution deals with the official languages in Article 343 to 351. Article 345 of the Constitution says, the legislature of a state may by law adopt any one or more of the languages in use in the state or Hindi as the language or languages to be used for all or any of the official purpose of that state. So few states are having 2 or 3 official languages. I think if I am not wrong, Nagaland is having English as their official language, if I am not wrong. Okay. 8th schedule of the Constitution. The constitutional provisions relating to the 8th schedule occur in Article 344, Clause 1 and 351 of the Constitution. Language listed under 8th schedule are, of course, try to remember. They may ask which of the following is the language which is not recognized by the Constitution. Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Sanskrit, Punjabi, Oriya, Nepali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu. And Urdu is also a language recognized by the Constitution. Bodo, Santali, Maithili, Dogri. Actually, they were added by these 4 were added by the 92nd Amendment. Maithili, Bodo, Dogri, Santali. You remember MBDS, you know MBBS, remove B, put D and D. Okay. And when you come to the 91st Amendment, it is with regard to defection. Okay. Okay. Now, about Tulu language. Tulu is a Dravidian language. Mostly all the South Indian languages are called as Dravidian languages. Spoken mainly in 2 coastal districts, Dakshina Kannada and Udupi of Karnataka and Kasargod district of Kerala. They share the common boundary. And this region is informally known as Tulunadu. There has been a demand for separate statehood for Tulunadu. It is common because when Andhra was formed in 1953, October 1st, such kind of demands raised all over the country. To look into the matter, you know, the first SRC was constituted, which was chaired by Fazal Ali. Extremely sorry, Fazal Ali. Okay. As per the 2011 census report, there are 18,46,427 Tulu-speaking people in India. The oldest available inscriptions in Telugu are from the period between 14th and 15th century AD. Tulu was introduced as a language in school by the Karnataka government a few years ago. Where they speak Tulu, there you are having the Tulu language instruction in the state of Karnataka, not total Karnataka, only in the districts where Tulu is spoken. Tulu has a rich oral literature tradition with folk forms like Pajana and traditional folk theatre Yakshagana. Yakshagana is the folk dance of the I think folk dance or music. It is folk dance of the Karnataka. Chuskondadi. Tulu also has an active tradition of cinema with around 5 to 7 Tulu language movies produced a year. Now, Article 20. See, actually, case for recognition. See, Article 29 of the Constitution is very important. It tries to protect the language of minorities also. Every person in India is having the right to protect his own language, culture, tradition. Article 29 of the Constitution, it deals with the protection of interest of minorities. It states that any section of the citizens residing in any part of India having a distinct language, script, or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. Yes, even there is one member also, you are having the right. Okay. Now, ULU proclamation. This is very important. It is not a national proclamation. It is an international proclamation. It's proclaimed to save any language in the world, preserve any language in the world. You remember this. ULU proclamation is with regard to language. The ULU proclamation was adopted at the first international conference on language resources protection in Changsha, Central China's Hunan province in 2018. Just remember ULU proclamation. Okay. Then in 2018 by UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, it calls upon the international community, states, governments and non-governmental organizations, among others, to reach a consensus on the protection and promotion of linguistic diversity in the world. And it is said that every year, n number of languages are becoming extinct. I think nowadays there is no pure language. It is my personal opinion. Take our Telugu, mixing of Hindi, mixing of Urdu, and also mixing of nowadays English. hybridization of Telugu language. The same case with all languages in India. And even many people don't know their mother tongue also, because they will be always in hostels, or they will go for Ukraine to pursue their education from childhood only, thinking that medicine is cheap in Ukraine, and they will, they will not know their mother tongue. Yes, if parents are in America, okay, from the birth of that child, though their mother tongue is Telugu, they don't know Telugu, and even if they speak Telugu, their parents will not allow. Don't speak in Telugu. You speak in only in English, because they think that it is prestigious. That is what happening, and it is a general perception, not mine or yours. Okay. So you have to remember this ULU proclamation. Whenever you are addressing the main question with regard to language, if you write such kind of proclamations and international conventions, you will get excellent marks. Okay? Yes. It calls upon the international community. Yes. Advantages of recognition under 8th schedule. So just now I told you, the people can write the civil service mains in this language also, Tulu. And Tulu, see the answer sheet will be evaluated by the person who knows the Tulu. And of course, whether it is true or false, and some people say that they may show the partiality. Who knows? Who knows? The paper evaluators may show some partiality because they only know the Tulu, other person don't know. It may be true or false, but sometimes some people will say that this, mother tongues will have some benefit over the common language. And even see, take the example of this literatures. They will have very less syllabus compared to our other options like political science, public ad, Telugu literature, Kannada literature, Urdu literature. And if it is recognized as the constitutional language, then automatically you will have the Tulu literature, maybe 4 or 5 pages very hardly. Then they will have the edge over other people in the option. Okay. Recognition from the Sahitya Academy. Sahitya Academy is also called India's National Academy of Letters, which preserves and promotes literature contained in different Indian languages. Translation of Tulu literacy works into other languages. Members of Parliament and members of Legislative Assembly could speak Tulu in Parliament and state assemblies respectively. Of course, now though that language is not recognized by the Constitution, the member can speak in that language. The only thing he has to do is he has to give a notice to that secretariat to arrange for a translator. Okay? Yes. Option to take competitive exams in Tulu, including all India competitive examinations like the civil service examination. Yes. Special fund from the central government, and teaching of Tulu in primary and high schools. If you teach in the primary and high schools, automatically the language will get support in course of time. Okay, so that Yakshagana is a folk dance of Karnataka, not music, and Yakshagana. And of course, Yakshagana is also played in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and adjoining states. Okay, this is about the Tulu, and what you have to remember here is, rather than Tulu, you have to remember this ULU proclamation. Okay. Yeah, the Citizen Constitutional Literacy Campaign. Okay, so Kerala government has initiated. The idea behind this is to create awareness among the common man with regard to the provisions of our Indian Constitution. Yeah, even our representatives, elected representatives, don't know the provisions of the Constitution. Okay, though we will study in our school days, okay, but afterwards you will forget everything. Whenever I ask many people why we will celebrate the Republic Day on 26 January 1950, and what is the importance for that January 26? What they will say? We will celebrate Republic Day because on that day we became Republic. That's all. What is Constitution? No, Constitution is Constitution. And even they don't know who will hoist the tricolor flag on Republic Day and who will hoist the tricolor flag on just Independence Day. And many people don't know who is the Prime Minister of India, who is the President of India. And they don't know what is the difference between President and Prime Minister. And even they don't know that CM is inferior to PM. No, CM is great. Because we have deviated from the politics or general knowledge. That is the problem. It is common thing. See, once one channel in Hyderabad, one day before the Republic Day, they were interviewing all the youth in malls, in cinema halls, etc. on roads. So they were asking the youth, see, tomorrow you are celebrating the Republic Day. Why we are celebrating Republic Day? No, I am not having idea. Because I watched and I laughed like anything I'm listening to their answers. And all that youth are highly qualified. They are having excellent degrees, and of course that does not matter. So this is a good idea of Kerala government, and even the parliament and assembly members should be even coaching in the constitution. At least 20 days, 30 days. What are the provisions of constitution? What are our rights? Okay, what are our obligations? What are our duties? Okay, yes. The Citizen Constitutional Literacy Campaign. The campaign was launched in Kollam district of Kerala. The campaign is first of its kind. Yes, nobody started in India before. The campaign will educate the residents of the district about the basics of constitution. The campaign aims to make Kollam district a constitutionally literate district. Everybody should know in which part fundamental rights are there, in which part right to principles are there, what is justable, what is bicameral, at least basics. And you people, in spite of taking politics classes for n number of hours, but still you will not answer my basic questions in our regular sessions. That is common because you will have a lot of other work rather than revising the subjects. Okay. About the campaign aims to educate 7 lakh Kollam residents. It is organized by the Kerala Institute of Local Administration and District Planning Committee. See, whenever you requires to address this kind of things, it is very good to write in the main sentence. The campaign will brief the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Yes, it is the basis, and preamble has set a guidelines for our constitution. And what is the basis for the preamble, online students? What is the basis for the preamble? Which became basis for the preamble? So nobody is able to chart. Yeah, Bhagavati. Objective resolution, which was forwarded by Jawaharlal Nehru on December 13th, 1946, which was passed by Constant Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. So the preamble says what is the aim of the constitution? What is the aim of our constitution? Objectives of our constitution, like justice, social justice, economic justice, political justice, etc. Okay? Yes. Preamble of the Indian whether preamble is justiciable or not. Whether preamble is justiciable or not. Let me know, online students, because I want to see whether you are active or not. Just open the YouTube and doing all other works in your other phone. Whether preamble is justiciable or not. No, preamble is not justiciable. Okay? Whether preamble is a part of constitution or not. Preamble is a part of the constitution, though it is not justiciable, and it can be amended like any other provisions of Constitution, and preamble has amended. So preamble was amended only once by 42nd Constitutional Amendment, by which social, secular, integrity words are added. Okay. So in the Berubari Union case, the Supreme Court said that preamble is not a part of Constitution, though it is having lot of importance. Why the Supreme Court observed so in the Berubari Union case? What is the reason behind? Because Supreme Court is not blind like we people. Why so? Why Supreme Court observed so in the Berubani Union case? Because it considered the American Constitution. The preamble of the American Constitution is not the part of Constitution. And in the case of the Bharati case, the court said that yes, preamble is a part of the Constitution. Okay? Yes. Now, preamble of the Indian Constitution, fundamental rights, history of Indian Constitution, and legal remedies, like your Article 32, 226, 13 also. All the citizens above the age of 10 are to be briefed about the Constitution. This includes socio-cultural organizations, private establishments, government institutions, educational institutions, everybody. Significance of the campaign. See, if you know how we are ruled and what are our rights, then automatically everything will be excellent. Yes. The Indian Constitution defines the rights and responsibilities of the citizens of the country. Unfortunately, the people of the country are not aware of their constitutional rights. Even highly educated people are unaware. They don't know why you will celebrate Republic Day, why Independence Day, who will hoist the tricolor flag. Because many people are not interested in participating in the democratic process. Many people will not go to the polling booth to exercise their franchise. They think it as a national holiday. On the day they think that no responsibility. We shall confine to house and we shall confine to only our cell phone. It is wrong. And you have to exercise your franchise. You have to participate in the democratic process. If you are not interested, press the nota button. Okay. Now, with this, the people will uphold constitutional values in their family life, personal life, and socio-political, cultural, and economic life. How will the campaign be implemented? 10 to 15 individuals from a Gram Panchayat will be selected. Of course, it is a procedure. There is no, legal concept. They can do in any manner. 20 to 25 persons from each municipality will be selected. The selected personnel will be provided proper training. They are to be called as senators. And they will imbibe the constitutional values in the common people. A squad of the senators will be created. They will provide 2 to 3 sessions of classes to each family. The campaign will also take help from interested socio-cultural organizations like NGOs. Special handbooks will be distributed to students, a small folders with the basic pictures of the Constitution. Okay, that is very important. Every voter should have what is his responsibility, what is his duty. Okay, okay. Equality forum in the campaign. During the second phase of the campaign, an equality forum is to be created. The equality forum consists of families. To them, Constitution will be taught in simple terms. Also, they will be provided with small handouts of the preamble of the Constitution in Malayalam. This handout was prepared by the Kerala Institute of Local Administration. At least the handouts will contain the basic principles and yeah. So next is the Tiruvallur Day, and Tiruvallur is a famous poet of the Tamil Nadu. Okay, and belonging to the almost all Sangam agent, and he wrote the Tirukural or Kural, and which deals with the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, and you know, Sangam age pertains to the rule of Deep South, and when you come to the Sangam literature, it is the steps taken by the Pandyan kings, Sangam councils. When you come to the Sangam councils, It is the steps taken by the Pandyan kings to strengthen the Tamil literature. They will conduct the councils. You are having lot of literary works of that period. Okay, you are having many books and Tirukarul or by Tiruvallurvar. You are having Tolkappiyam by Tolkappiyar. You are having Perambaradchi Peddai by Mangudi Maradan. You are having Madurai Ganji by Mangudi Maradan and Sivaga Chintamani by Tiru Takkadevar. Many books and once in the mains, they asked about the socio-economic political conditions in the Sangam age. Yes, very popular question in the UPSC mains in the general studies only, not history option. Okay? Yes. Now, Tiruvallur Day. Recently, the Prime Minister of India paid tributes to Tiruvallur on the occasion of Tiruvallur Day. It is observed either on January 15th or 16th. That is the day of Pongal. That is Makara Sankranti. Sometimes it will be on 15th, maybe on 16th, sometimes on 14th. As a part of Pongal celebrations, to mark the birth anniversary of Tiruvallurvar, a Tamil poet and philosopher, it was first celebrated on May 17th and 18th in 1935. Now they have changed. About Tiruvallurvar, he is regarded as a cultural icon by Tamils. Multiple accounts regarding Tiruvallurvar are available, but little is known about his family background because in that period nobody wrote the history and only from the period of Guptas you are having the history. So before that, nothing. So you are not having the family history. Family background, religious affiliation or birthplace. It is believed that he used to live in the town of Mylapore, a neighborhood in present-day Chennai, and flourished between the 4th century and the 6th century. Lot of gap because we are having ambiguity with regard to his place of birth, his lifetime. Tamil orator and writer and father of the pure Tamil movement, Maraimala Adigal, deduced 31 BC as the birth year of Vallurvar, while sex scholar in Indian literature and linguistics, Kamil Velibai, inferred that Tiruvallur lived around 500 AD. See, nearly 500 years difference between the two scholars with regard to concluding the time period of the Tiruvallur. Don't remember this ambiguous thing. Works and contribution. He has influenced a wide range of scholars through the years in disciplines in like ethics, politics, economics, philosophy, and spirituality. In all fields, he has stressed and politics also, ethics also, and even Dharmartha Kama Mokshas in the family life. His most popular work is Tirukural or Kural. It seems it is having spelling mistake. Tirukural or Kular, a collection of couplets on ethics, politics, economy, and love. Everything under Dharmartha Kama Moksha. Even he has given importance to economy also. Tirukural. See now, take the example of Arthashastra of Chanakya. So Arthashastra means generally economy, Artha. But here the Arthashastra of Chanakya dealt with the political administration. Only in one stanza, he has mentioned about the legal interest rate, and he also commented about the fair taxation. It is a reason why on the eve of 150th year celebration of Income Tax Department of India, a 5 rupees coin was released with a portrait of Chanakya. Why? He was commenting about the taxes and also legal interest rate. Okay? Yes. Tirukural is considered a very important text in Tamil literature. Initiatives to honor him. In the early 16th century, a temple dedicated to Tiruvallur was built within the Ekampareshwar temple complex in Mylapore in Chennai. Of course, no need to remember, but who knows, you may get a question with regard to Tiruvallur in the main stand. 3 years ago, they asked about the Tandava Nritya in the mains. They may ask, and who knows? Okay. Locals believe that this was where he was born, underneath a tree within the temple complex. It is their idea, Nandi. In 1976, a temple memorial called Vallur Kottam was built in Chennai and houses one of the largest auditoriums in Asia. Big auditorium. A 133-foot statue of Tiruvallurvar stands at Kanyakumari as well. Nowadays, we are competing with the height and I think in my personal opinion, height does not matter. What matters whether you are following the steps of these great personalities or not. See, you are having statue of equality in Hyderabad with a excellent height and of course I am not opposing. Rather than the height, we have to follow the principles of that iconic personality. Height does not matter. We have to follow their footpath. That is very important, not the height. Even we will worship small, small size statue of God, even big size also. Okay? Yes. 130-foot tall statue of Tiruvallur stands at Kanyakumari as well. Another statue of the legendary Tamil poet was unveiled in Ulsur near Bengaluru in 2009. A statue of Vallurvar has also erected outside the School of Oriental and African Studies in Russell Square in London. So, even outside the country also you are having the statues. The Tiruvallur University was established in Vellore district of Tamil Nadu by the government of Tamil Nadu in October 2002. So at least you should have an idea who is Tiruvallur, who is Tiruvallur and what are his contribution to the Tamil literature. Now, India's first geopark to come up in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so geopark is like our heritage site where you are having unique identity. We have to preserve that. Okay, it is in the news in the recent days. The estimated cost of this project is rupees 35 crore, and there is a provision to sanction additional funds if required, as the area around the upcoming geopark will be developed. Local MP Rakesh Singh said in the parliament. So it is an image of geological formation in Lamheta village in MP, Jabalpur. The Geological Survey of India has approved the setting up of the country's first geopark at Lamheta village on the bank of the Narmada river in Jabalpur. And even river Narmada will make a waterfall at Jabalpur. And river Narmada is the largest west flowing river. And on this, river Narmada and its tributary only, you are having a large chain of dams, Narmada Sarovars and Sardar Sarovar dams. Okay? Okay. Now, he said the Geological Survey of India has sanctioned rupees 1.3 crore to prepare a detailed project report of the geological rock formations in 5 acres in the Lamheta village, located 20 kilometers away from the Jabalpur district headquarters, where the park will come up. The estimated cost of this project is 35 crore, and there is a provision to sanction additional funds. Okay, we have discussed that. Okay. Now, what is geopark? A geopark is a unified area that advances the protection and use of geological heritage in a sustainable way and promotes the economic well-being of the people who live there. So it is having a unique observations or unique excavations has encountered, like here it is said that they have found the remains of dinosaurs. This site is already there in the UNESCO Geoheritage tentative list. We have discussed in the earlier classes. So 1 year they will keep in the tentative list, and again they will survey, and later they will give the place in the UNESCO's permanent list. The UNESCO Geoheritage tentative list for the conservation of the natural heritage. Several dinosaurs fossils had been found in the Narmada Valley, particularly in the Bedaghat Lameta Ghat area of Jabalpur, Mr. Singh said. So you have to remember what is the reason behind establishing this geopark, because we have found the remains of the dinosaurs. In 1828, the first dinosaur fossil was collected from the Lameta bed by Indian Civil Service officer William Sleeman, he said. So try to remember few concepts. Okay. I will take up a small issue and another issue because we are having the okay. See, Startup India Day. So recently, of course, last year only the government of India said that 16th January will be celebrated as the national, startup day. Yes, extremely sorry. I could not get the PDF. National Startup Day 2012. I will go to another folder and yeah. So actually, January 16th should be celebrated as the National Startup Day. See, actually, you know what is meant by a startup. So self innovation or just entrepreneurship, by which a person will become the employment giver, that is job giver, not job seeker. From the initiation of this campaign, India has made lot of progress in the new startups. Earlier they were only 500, now they run into 1,000. And even they have replaced many imports. That you have to remember. They have replaced many imports, and even that made India to stand in a better position in the global innovation index. Okay, so that is very important. And even in course of time also, so the government is encouraging the youth to have their own businesses. One thing is we will become self-sufficient. We will save our foreign exchange. And one thing is, if you export that commodities, you will earn the foreign exchange. Okay, so that is the importance of Startup India. And the person will become a job giver and rather than a job seeker. It is said that this made India to have a better place in the global innovation index. And you have to remember, from this year we started celebrating January 16th as the Startup India Day. Okay, and second class it will start at 9:45 and thank you, God bless you, and we will meet for this class next week, in the next week and okay. Yes, please join the class at 9:45.